In today's video, we're revealing the most valuable state president John F. Kennedy coins and rare wheat pennies that collectors are paying millions of dollars for. From shocking mint errors to historic coins linked to American presidents, these 4 legendary coins could change your life forever. Watch till the end, because one small coin could mean big money, and you might already own it. First up, the President John F. Kennedy half-dollar dated 1979 with no mint mark is a significant yet often misunderstood coin in United States numismatic history, and a complete understanding of this coin requires an in-depth look at its historical background, emotional importance, design elements, metal composition, production era, circulation role, collector demand, myths surrounding its value, and its place in modern coin collecting, all of which together explain why this coin remains popular despite being common and generally low in monetary worth, especially in bad or heavily circulated condition. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was assassinated on November 22, 1963, an event that deeply shocked the American public and the world, leading the U.S. Mint to act with unprecedented speed by introducing the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964 to honor his legacy, replacing the Franklin half-dollar and instantly turning the new coin into a national symbol of remembrance, patriotism, and respect. And while early Kennedy half-dollars from 1964 were struck in 90% silver and later issues from 1965 through 1970 contained 40% silver, the rising cost of precious metals and changes in U.S. coinage policy eventually led to the complete removal of silver, so by 1979 the Kennedy half-dollar was produced entirely as a copper-nickel-clad coin composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, meaning it has no intrinsic silver value at all, a critical fact that many new collectors misunderstand. The absence of a mint mark on the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as Philadelphia traditionally did not use mint marks during that period, and the coin follows standard specifications including a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge, making it identical in size and weight to other modern Kennedy half-dollars. The obverse of the coin features a dignified left-facing portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, showing his sharp facial features, neatly styled hair, and calm yet strong expression, surrounded by the inscription Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the left, and the date 1979 at the bottom, while the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal with a powerful heraldic eagle holding an olive branch symbolizing peace and arrows symbolizing defense, a shield on its chest representing national strength, stars above the eagle's head, and the inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar encircling the design, reinforcing the themes of unity, authority, and balance. During 1979, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Kennedy half-dollars, and by that time the coin was no longer widely used in everyday transactions, as half-dollars had largely disappeared from regular commerce due to changes in spending habits and the convenience of smaller denominations, resulting in many coins being stored, collected casually, or ignored rather than actively circulated. Yet many examples still suffered wear, scratches, edge damage, discoloration, and environmental exposure, placing them in what collectors consider bad or poor condition, and in such condition the 1979 no-mint marked Kennedy half-dollar typically holds a market value close to its face value of 50 cents or slightly higher, often ranging from 50 cents to $1, because it is common, non-silver, and readily available, despite widespread misinformation on the internet and social media claiming that ordinary examples are worth thousands or even millions of dollars, which is not true unless the coin possesses a genuine and verifiable mint error such as a double die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, misaligned layers, or other dramatic production flaw, some of which can indeed raise the value significantly if authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Nevertheless, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark continues to hold strong appeal among collectors because it represents the later era of Kennedy coinage, completes date and mint sets, serves as an educational example of post-silver U.S. coins, and carries lasting emotional and historical value tied to President Kennedy's legacy, his vision for America, and the cultural impact of his presidency and assassination, making this coin an enduring piece of American history whose true importance lies not in extraordinary monetary worth but in its role as a tangible reminder of a defining moment in the nation's past, appreciated by beginners, historians, and collectors around the world who value coins as storytellers of history rather than merely objects of financial gain. Next up, the President John F. Kennedy half-dollar dated 1986 with the D. Mint mark is a modern-era United States coin that carries deep historical symbolism while also reflecting the economic, cultural, and numismatic changes that shaped American coinage in the late 20th century, and to fully understand this coin, even in bad, worn, or circulated condition, it is important to explore its origins, meaning, design, composition, minting context, circulation history, collector interest, and realistic market value in a single continuous narrative. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, remains one of the most admired political figures in American history due to his charisma, leadership during the Cold War, vision for civil rights, and inspiring call for public service. And after his assassination on November 22, 1963, the United States sought a lasting tribute, leading to the introduction of the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964, which immediately became both a memorial and a national symbol, initially struck in 90% silver and later in 40% silver until rising metal prices forced the U.S. Mint to remove precious metals from circulating coinage. So by the time the 1986 Kennedy half-dollar was produced, it was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel with no silver content, a key detail that often disappoints new collectors influenced by online rumors. The presence of the D. Mint mark on the 1986 Kennedy half-dollar indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. Mint facilities, and the mint mark appears just below President Kennedy's neck on the obverse side, clearly distinguishing it from Philadelphia issues, and the coin follows standard modern half-dollar specifications including a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge, making it consistent in size and feel with other post-1970 Kennedy half-dollars. The obverse design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy with sharp facial features, detailed hair, and a composed, thoughtful expression that conveys dignity and leadership, surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty along the upper rim, In God We Trust to the left of the portrait, and the date 1986 at the bottom, while the reverse design by Frank Gasparo displays the presidential seal of the United States, showing a powerful eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows to symbolize peace and defense, a shield on its chest representing national strength, and stars above its head, encircled by the words United States of America and $50, reinforcing the authority and unity of the nation. In 1986, millions of Kennedy half-dollars were produced at the Denver Mint, yet despite these large mintages, the coin was rarely seen in everyday circulation because by the 1980s half-dollars had largely fallen out of regular use in American commerce, with vending machines, cash registers, and consumer habits favoring smaller denominations, causing many 1986 D Kennedy half-dollars to be stored in bags, rolls, drawers, or collections rather than actively spent, although many examples still ended up scratched, worn, stained, are damaged due to improper handling and long-term storage, placing them in poor or circulated condition. In such condition, the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar typically holds a value close to its face value of 50 cents, sometimes selling for 50 cents to $1 in the collector market, as it is common, non-silver, and widely available, and claims that ordinary examples are worth thousands or millions of dollars are incorrect unless the coin possesses a genuine and dramatic mint error such as a double die, off-center strike, misaligned clad layers, or other production anomaly that can be verified and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, which can significantly increase value in rare cases. Nonetheless, the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar remains meaningful to collectors and history enthusiasts because it represents the continuation of a presidential tribute more than 2 decades after Kennedy's death, reflects the era of modern clad coinage in the United States, completes date and mint collections, and serves as a tangible reminder of President Kennedy's lasting legacy, making this coin important not for extraordinary monetary wealth but for its educational, historical, and symbolic value as a piece of American history preserved in metal for future generations. Next up, the President John F. Kennedy half-dollar dated 1980 with the D. Mint mark is a representative example of modern United States coinage that combines historical symbolism with the practical realities of late 20th century minting, and to truly understand this coin in a deep, long-form way, even when it is found in worn, damaged, or heavily circulated condition, it is essential to explore its presidential legacy, origin, composition, design, minting background, circulation history, collector interest, common myths, and realistic value in one continuous narrative. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, remains one of the most influential and admired leaders in American history due to his vision for progress, leadership during tense Cold War years, commitment to civil rights, and inspiring call for national service. And following his assassination on November 22, 1963, the U.S. Mint responded to the nation's grief by introducing the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964 as a permanent tribute, replacing the Franklin half-dollar and quickly becoming one of the most emotionally significant coins ever issued by the United States, initially struck in 90% silver and later reduced to 40% silver until 1970. After which rising silver prices and economic pressures led to the complete removal of precious metals from circulating half-dollars. So, nickel-clad composition consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel with no silver content, an important fact that many new collectors overlook when estimating value. The presence of the D. Mint mark on the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. Mint facilities, and this small letter, D, appears just below President Kennedy's neck on the obverse, distinguishing it from Philadelphia issues, while the coin follows standard specifications of the era including a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge, making it consistent with other modern Kennedy half-dollars in size, feel, and appearance. The obverse design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy with carefully detailed hair, a strong jawline, and a calm yet resolute expression that reflects leadership and dignity, surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty along the upper rim, In God We Trust to the left of the portrait, and the date 1980 at the bottom, while the reverse design by Frank Gasparo displays the presidential seal of the United States, showing a powerful eagle holding an olive branch to symbolize peace and arrows to represent military readiness, a shield on its chest signifying national strength, and a ring of stars above its head, with the words United States of America and half-dollar encircling the design, reinforcing themes of unity, authority, and balance. In 1980, Millions of Kennedy half-dollars were produced at the Denver Mint, yet despite these large production numbers, the coin was rarely encountered in everyday transactions because by the late 1970s and early 1980s half-dollars had largely disappeared from regular circulation due to changes in consumer habits, vending machine limitations, and a preference for smaller denominations, leading many 1980 Kennedy half-dollars to be stored in bank vaults, mint bags, rolls, or personal collections rather than spent, although many examples still became scratched, worn, toned, or damaged over time due to improper storage or handling, placing them in circulated or poor condition. In such condition, the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar generally holds a value close to its face value of 50 cents, sometimes selling for 50 cents to $1, as it is a common, non-silver coin, and widespread online claims that ordinary examples are worth thousands or millions of dollars are inaccurate unless the coin possesses a genuine and verifiable mint error such as a double die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, or misaligned clad layers, which can significantly increase value if authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Nevertheless, the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar remains meaningful to collectors, educators, and history enthusiasts because it represents the continuation of a presidential memorial well into the modern era, illustrates the transition to fully clad U.S. coinage, completes date and mint collections, and serves as a tangible reminder of President Kennedy's enduring legacy, making its true importance lie not in extraordinary monetary value but in its historical, cultural, and educational significance as a lasting symbol of American history preserved in metal. Next up, the President John F. Kennedy half-dollar dated 1971 with no mint mark represents an important transitional moment in United States coinage history and a meaningful continuation of one of the nation's most iconic presidential tributes, and to fully understand this coin in a deep, long-form way, even when it is found in worn, damaged, or heavily circulated condition, it is necessary to explore its historical origins, metal composition, design symbolism, minting background, circulation role, collector perception, common misconceptions, and realistic value within a single continuous narrative. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was assassinated on November 22, 1963, an event that profoundly shocked the American public and led the U.S. Mint to honor his legacy by introducing the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964, replacing the Franklin half-dollar and becoming an immediate national memorial, initially struck in 90% silver in 1964 and then in 40% silver from 1965 through 1970. But due to rising silver prices and economic pressures, the U.S. Mint made a historic change in 1971 by removing silver entirely from circulating half-dollars, making 1971 the first year the Kennedy half-dollar was produced solely in a copper-nickel clad composition consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. A crucial detail that gives the 1971 issue special importance as the beginning of the modern clad era for this series. The absence of a mint mark on the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place mint marks on its coins at that time, and the coin follows standard specifications including a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge, maintaining continuity in size and appearance with earlier Kennedy half-dollars despite the major change in metal content. The obverse design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a dignified left-facing portrait of President Kennedy with carefully sculpted hair, a strong jawline, and a composed expression that reflects leadership and resolve, surrounded by the inscription Liberty along the top rim. In God We Trust position to the left of the portrait, and the date 1971 clearly shown at the bottom. while the reverse design by Frank Gasparo displays the presidential seal of the United States, showing a powerful heraldic eagle holding an olive branch to symbolize peace and arrows to represent defense, a shield on its chest signifying strength and unity, and a cluster of stars above the eagle's head, with the inscriptions United States of America and $50 encircling the design, reinforcing the authority and identity of the nation. In 1971, millions of Kennedy $50 were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and although $50 were still technically part of everyday currency, their actual use in daily transactions was already declining as consumer habits shifted towards smaller denominations and vending machines and cash handling systems became less compatible with larger coins, resulting in many 1971 no-mint marked Kennedy $50 being saved, stored, or overlooked rather than actively circulated, though many still ended up with scratches, wear, edge damage, discoloration, and surface marks from handling and long-term storage, placing them in circulated or poor condition. In such condition, the 1971 no-mint marked Kennedy $50 typically holds a market value close to its face value of 50 cents to about $1, as it contains no silver and is relatively common, and claims that ordinary examples are worth extremely high amounts are incorrect unless the coin possesses a genuine and verifiable mint error such as a double die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, or other production anomaly, which can significantly increase value if authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Nevertheless, the 1971 Kennedy $50 with no mint mark remains important and desirable to collectors because it marks the first year of the fully clad Kennedy series, represents a turning point in U.S. coinage history, completes date and mint collections, and serves as a tangible reminder of President Kennedy's enduring legacy and the evolving economic realities of the United States, making its true significance lie not in extraordinary monetary wealth but in its historical, educational, and symbolic value as a lasting piece of American history preserved in metal. Next up,